Welcome to my game development stream. As always, first I start my development environment. Then I play one round of my game and after that I decide what I work on today. Starting takes a bit. One command in the terminal. Wait for a few lines to appear so I know it's ready. Can close others so it's not so full. But I'm currently waiting. I'm waiting for a few lines so I know it's ready. In the meantime I can check what I'm working on. I'm still on class Spellmaker. Tool orbiter, and I want to visualize it better, but I found out I have a problem. I want to center this thing. And I have to think about how I do this. Okay, but it started. It runs in the browser. Localhost for me. I start fresh, so I delete data. Okay, I'm the guy in the middle. First I have to choose a class. I still take Spellmaker as my work in progress class. I think should I just go left today and try the bit more difficult one. I take explosion. I want somewhat big explosion. Is this 7? Hey, no. It's smaller. 3, okay. And 1 high damage dot in the middle. Okay. Let's see if this works out. Okay, I have a second explosion plus lightning is probably what I have to do. Let's add twist here. I go again, I need a new spell, I switch over to the new spell and this has to be lightning. Let's do this one. How much does this cost? Didn't pay attention. 0.6 mana, okay, let's hope. This might be better for a start. But it's worse at, yeah, I have to, is this one? Okay, okay. Seeker. Fireline. Seeker doesn't help, because neither lightning nor explosion can seek. Oh, it's getting dangerous, but proximity I can use, and it helps me. Proximity. Let's wait. Okay, Spellmake mode. Switch to this one. Reset. I now do proximity. On the next stage, I put the explosion. And okay, I cannot see. This is far cheaper, I believe. But maybe this is better, I have no idea. Interesting. Okay. I have Seeker Fireline Turret. We can turret. Go in, I switch to this one, I reset it. I make a turret with a bit of mana. And this has to fire lightning. What type of lightning? I can make, because I can just make small lightning. Let's see. What? No, I hoped they hit, but they didn't. This fell off. I have to check. Okay, but I died one time with cheat 6. All. So a turret with a little mana, but a weak lightning spell. It's like this. This is correct, it only shoots once. This is not what it should do. Something's off. It's broken. Reset. We should give you more mana and it's broken. Okay. So my exception bug. Bug turret only shooting once? Question mark. Let's try different. Usually I do it like this. Yeah, it's broken. It only shoots once. This is problematic. So I broke it last time. Then let's shortly check. I'm in Spellmaker. I have ability, but I didn't change the ability, did I? No, I'm confused. I think I should debug. Go to debug. Make a bit of mana. I'm the idiot. I didn't put it on the stage, I believe. Then everything would make sense again. Yes, okay. I forgot. Okay, I am the idiot. I did change it, it cannot. How can I visualize this better? Okay, but this is solved. I forgot that I didn't change the stage. Then let's go back to orbiting. I had the orbit. I did this and I put the orbit on it. And I realized that I can click close. So I want to center this point, essentially. So when I click, I want this point to be centered. But cause I can orbit more, I can also orbit fire lines. And orbiting fire lines is special. Because now every point on the fire line should be so essentially I want to put in a point and get it back centered. And for the fire line, I would be fine anywhere on the line. This might be more complicated. The end, it doesn't matter, does it? I'm idiot. So I'm still not sure how to do it, how to work with my orbiter. I have other cases. Explosion cannot. Proximity can orbit. Yes. This also should. Basically, when I click, I want to manipulate this position. This should be done proximity. It's easy for fireline. It's harder, I believe, but we'll see. In the end, I want to be able to manipulate the orbit by dragging. Okay, I want to be here. This means when my tool, I need a new function on it. It's on not the move version, it's on tool functions. Because you have calculate distance. I have something like center. Move point to center. Move point, I don't know. Get closest center. Something like this. I want to have it on each tool. Do I? And I return a position. And I want do I have the tool? I think it's tool related. I also have the position. It still feels off. I get the position and I have the tool. Now I want to move it to the center. Get closest center. Calculate distance doesn't need to exist. I do not have this, I don't change it. I could make it optional. Okay. Now I want this to exist on turret. Let's put it here for now. Function. It would be cool for now, just return position, but I might want to have a copy. Closest center. Now this exists here. I have tool. I want it to be this one. Is it? This feels off. Do I have data or do I have the tool? Here's the work in progress. I think I need the object data. I have to think for a second. It should be similar to this one, I believe. Yes, this is the one. This is create object. I need this one. Is it? I can have this object and I return object center X. Okay, this is already what I want, I believe. Don't care for the position. This is relevant for Fireline. Now I need for orbiter one key down. I have the attached to. This is attached to target. I could check for its functions. Attached to shouldn't be move. As make const. No, yeah, it's a const, even though it's not. Is start position is oops. X is cast position relative to character X. So this is where it starts. I actually can visualize it here so I can use it. Now I can check if attach to target type. Did I not have a subtype here? No, I need to have it here, but so I should be able to directly get the functions. Const attached type functions. I am normal tools. And I have attached type. Now if attach type functions and attach type and I would have start position to be attach target and like this, I believe. He says I don't allow const, and fine. Okay, and with this, I believe I center for turret. The rest shouldn't matter. Okay, so I have turret, I have proximity, and I have fire line. Here I can move. Here I can no longer move, it's centered. Here I can move, okay. Okay, I can easily center this and the fire line might be... I will see. Which means my proximity needs proximity data and it has a center. Now the question is what I do for fire line. Calculate distance fire line. Calculate distance point to line. For now I ignore it, I believe. Might be too specific. Okay, this means turret and proximity are now no longer here. This one I can move. Okay. Now I wanted to to be able to assign what I orbit around. It should center somehow, allow orbit offset. We'll find closest other object to be the center. Orbit offset I don't see yet. First I want, if I drag and move, I want to basically, if I mouse the mouse, I cannot see that there is a second something I can assign. I think a bit. I want to not always be orbiting around the player. I click down, I always choose orbit player. Why? This is the next part. On key up. On tick. I have an on tick. It's a tool. I check for a work in progress. Relative position. Ah, this affects the speed and direction. This I want to change. I think speed was angle change, but I will check later. So now I want to find the closest center, is essentially. I have the start position. Is this the start position or is it the center? This is a center. Ah, based on the orbit radius and angle, I have start position. Fair. But if I attach to a different thingy, everything changes. Do I have a function for it? I basically determine based on I use the last mouse position here. Let's think a bit. Function determine and set center. This is also not good enough. If I just set the center, I don't know what I attached it to. Currently don't have an undo. Normally I always push. So I need data. In the end, I need, for now I could just, for painting I don't need this stuff. So I could ignore it. Which means this any I should have called it as something. Here I have as I have the orbiter, which is this thing. I am confused. The orbiter should only be able to attach to one before and the same stage once. I don't know if I have this information. I have the tool. The tool has the work in progress. This is I don't think do I need the ability. I think I need the ability to. Tool doesn't have the information. I don't need the ability owner, I believe. Let's say I have these three values. Did I break? No. But I need a position. Relative position. It was a relative position, wasn't it? This means determine closest center orbit center object and set. Okay, this is my idea. Now I need to know which values are acceptable. And this is based on ability. First of all, if ability, is it already the correct ability? Yes, I'm our ability is Spellmaker. Mode has to be, it's spellcaster return. This should not happen here. I don't know if I should. I shouldn't be in here. I'm a tool. I don't think this is relevant. I have the orbiter, which is the work in progress. It's important that it's a work in progress, isn't it? Not necessarily. But it's important that it's not attached yet. If it would be attached, I rename it work. But if I know it's a work in progress, then I should not need to take this. And progress, I tag name it this way. So if the tool, it needs a work in progress. If tool, well, work in progress is optional, I don't have it, I would return, then I have nothing to do. In the end, I'm interested to set tool work in progress. You don't know what work in progress is. Work in, that's my orbiter. Tool work in progress is the correct type. Then I have orbiter, which I have to set stuff. And start position will be the interesting one. So its work in progress is not added yet. I have the tool which doesn't tell me anything, so I have to find root object, let's call it would be ability spells, ability spell index, created object, this. If ability stage, if I have a stage, I don't need the if I make it a while, I believe. Let's find out where not what I'm searching. Did I have the whiles here? Queue and stage. Okay. I check for attach to index. I copy all this. Object with this one now. So I check if I have an attach to index. The Q and spell. I have, okay, call it Q and object maybe. This is slightly different, isn't it? Q and spell created objects. Is this always one? Gives me the attach to index. Am I interested in the set of objects or this one? I think I'm interested in array of objects. So now I remove this Q and objects, Q and stage. So I have attached to index. Then I go, if my stage is 1, in this case I'm not done. I don't check next stage, do I? Think for a moment. Also, I will not return. This is also not part of here. If I have attached to index, I believe I'm on a different stage, and it's attached to index. Do I really have an attached to index? I have an orbiter work in progress. As long as I have this work in progress, I should have the attached to index. Then while until I reach the Spellmake stage, so I start with 0. Spellmake stage should be 1 at least. I check not for next stage. I should increase the stage. And Q and objects should be I checked, so this has to be after it. Q and objects is an array. I gets attached to index, and this needs a next stage. And I don't know if this can be undefined. Then I increase. With this, I should be. I think I should stop one before. Or do I? The work in progress. If an attached to. Might be one before. But I have to search. Again, I click. I know what stage I'm on. So stage 0, I have the player or other objects on this same stage 0. On stage 1, I need the object from before. So I have two cases. The before object and yes, I have two cases. This is a spell. Do I have even more cases in this case? The player is a special case. The before case is different than can be different than the player. And then I have the queue and stage. Fair. So I have, let's call it the before stage position. It starts as, call it a position, and it is the zero position. Is this good enough? And when I get the next stage, I am attached to something which means this object is the important one. Q1 attached to object, attached to object. It's this one. And I get the next stage, but I attach to object. I need before stage position would then be, I need the functions again. Something like this, but it doesn't necessarily need one. Was it else? Position. Let's think a bit. It's attached to object. I get the function for this type. I check if it has a center. If not, then I would set just the position. It's complicated. I need to think more. If I have the get closest center, I think this is correct. If I do not have it, I need an else case. Maybe ignore for now. To start with something. Still not sure if the position here is correct. Closest center. I will see over time, I guess. Determine closest of its center object and set center for work in progress. My mouse has a position. I do not need this yet. I say 0, 0, or from the current spell the objects are relevant. I check, do I have an attached to index, so I need to find the current objects which I want to care for. Until I reach the correct stage. If I have done it, I have the position and the current objects I want to check. And I essentially need to find the closest, I guess. And I could add closest distance is calculate distance between before stage position to position. This could be my first calculation. And then I would need to loop over let object of current objects const temp distance. What is the position of the object? They don't have positions. And not every one of these has. Okay, I need the functions. Object functions. Object type. Object functions. Calculate distance. Not everyone has the distance calculation. But I could check if this doesn't exist. I continue. Continue. And now I have relative position, create object. Now I can check if the smaller closest distance and have closest distance equals temp distance. But I need to remember which the closest is. Let me think. This is not relevant until But I could just set it, I believe. Think a bit. It's a relative position, I believe. Why change it? Relative position, let's call it. I have to think a lot. How do I need to think about it? I want to set the orbiter center. This will mean I do something like this. Wait. I want these lines in a function, I guess. Orbit radius and angle, these are the one, and they are all based on 0, 0. This might not work out. The start position is the position of where my orbiter is. And then it calculates based on 0. So I have orbiter position and does a word for this exist for the center of? I call it center and orbiter, I guess. Orbiter position and center position. Calculate these. This is the center position. Then I can just set it, I believe. Function set position. I need orbiter position and center position. Wait. This one, I believe. Orbiter position or orbiter the center and orbiter start position is equal orbiter position, something like this. Does this work out? Isn't this the wrong way around? Isn't this the send? No. I feel like I should do it the other way around. In the long term. Relative to character. No, this is my orbiter position. Distance is clear, direction from also clear. And when I paint it, I base it on 0, 0, and this is why I can calculate it. I think this needs to change. This is a move attachment. It's attached to something. I am confused. The move attachment only says by what amount something has to move. The ability object has a position. Then I base it on the owner. This will change where I need to find the object it's rotating around. But this is different. This is when it's an object. Okay, I'm having trouble with this, but it's complicated. I am a move tool. No, I'm an object already. No. There's a difference. This is not a work in progress. Okay. Interesting. Because these are no longer relevant here. Somewhat understand. Because here I didn't know. Yeah, I will need a reference ID, basically. What I orbit and the indication if it's player or an object, which I would long term need here too. They are different. The orbiter is complicated. And what I attach to, and I find what I orbit around. Then I need to set it. The painting here works. The start position of my... I also need the center. Because currently I believe the center is... center is long term. It's problematic because this doesn't tell me where it's attached to. But I can't find it. Direction clockwise will not be relevant currently. Is orbit radius relevant? Because I can calculate it based on center and start position. Same for angle. Same for speed. So I change it up. Center and start position are the relevant ones. And later it's calculated through these, to these. This is my work in progress. Here I don't have speed. I have no angle and I don't have this one. So I have center was 0, 0 essentially. Then I do not need to calculate this. And this function might be not relevant anymore. And let's go over stuff. One key down. I get the start position, but I need the center. The center was this function here. I could return it in the end. It could take itself, I realize. No, it cannot. Because it's a move attachment, okay. This should change. One key up. Speed and direction clockwise are not interested. Work in progress gets deleted. And I return it so it gets attached. And tick, these are no longer relevant. But essentially when I have one, I need to check if I have a new closest thingy. So I do determine closest orbit center. I could do something like... Wait, do I need... I need the work in progress even. Do I need the work in progress? In the end, it's the same as I don't think I need the work in progress. In the end, it's just a move tool, so I can. Tool is tool ability. And so what is the position? Currently it's the start position, but no, this is cast position relative to character. Center. This currently doesn't return a position. So I could say it should position something. This is no longer relevant. It's no longer relevant. So I could return for now just anything. Okay, how does this one work? Analytic change. Also all calculations essentially. I have calculate direction between orbiter center to orbiter start position. And here I have calculate distance between orbit center and orbit start position. Okay, on tick essentially does progress. Doesn't know what it is, but it has a center and I do not have. Yes, I have a client info. This is not the relative position. Is a position and it's not quite correct. How did I do it before? Did need this calculation somewhere, don't I? Yeah, this one takes ability owner. I have the ability owner. Okay, let's use this one. You are gun. I lost here. Relative position. Okay. Get move attachment. Angle tick change. So it's important which one of these I have. This is not an object yet, so it's the one with stuff. Angle tick change is based on radius, isn't it? Let's const radius. Radius. Speed, direction. What is my speed? 1? The bigger the radius, the smaller the angle change. Okay, time will tell if this works out. I'm on 0 errors, but my function is not done yet. This one will be different. Painting also needs to be different because I'm now based on orbit. No, not orbit end. Orbiter center. At least I believe I can just change this. And this is no longer correct. This is now based on the center. No paint position. This is based on the center. Owner paint position is not used. But this is also not quite correct, because I have to take the paint position. Do I use the start position for anything? No. Okay, then I need const paint pose is position, and its x is based on owner paint position, and it's now plus orbiter center x, I believe. Same for y. And maybe this is the correct one. Calculate move position. Is the paint position? Okay, I hope, but I return 0, 0. So essentially, currently, can check if it still works, I guess. It should not have changed. 6. So I believe if I have a turret, or I have the proximity, or I have the fire line, that my yes, this behavior is still the same. And I see I did not change. The version today, 27 is... Or did I? I think 27 is today. Okay, now I need to... be able to connect to a different center. So if I loop over it correctly, we call it orbit center, the position, and I keep this one in here, and I return this one. Now I start with this one. I check if I find a closer one. I have to change the orbit center to what? Have an object. It's probably object functions again. This one. Object is a relative. If this exists. Else it's the relative position itself. I have no idea. Let's see what happens. I'm confused. I don't believe it works. 6 Pascal points. Make a few things again. Fireline. Now I have the orbit. Doesn't work at all. Oh! Huh? It does work. It just doesn't have a default. No, it finds itself. Correct. This is the 0 case. This is possible because the fireline is line. This is far too... Because this is closest. Okay, I understand. Let's close in what I want. It should ignore itself and then it is already working, I guess. This is a problem. I need to get closer to it. Now I could also an explosion and a lightning blast here. And I believe this would attach to it. Yes, it does. Which is fine. So I would need to center around here too. Fireline is the only one. Could also see it as Yeah, orbit around my character. Yeah, this is a position. This is a custom. I think I limit it to other things. Calculate distance. Temp distance. I start with before stage. In my first test, I should not have this. There should not be this case, should there? So it starts as this is the only exception. Something is off. Ah, because it starts here. Okay. I should temp distance. I should have condition that I have to be close to consider it. Might even be below 50. Else it snatches to the player for now. Proximity. Lightning. I miss. What did I? Fireline. Okay. Now. Here, if I'm close. Okay, this is all what I currently expect. But it doesn't exclude itself yet. I should check. Can I exclude? The attached to itself. I have the index for it. I can, but I cannot count with this. I should. I'm pretty sure the index can be added here, but I never learned how. Or is it type script for loop of with index? I believe this exactly. They use map. Then I don't care. And it's the same as I can queue and objects lengths. Const object. If I is equals ability attached to index. Now that I think about it, it has to exist, doesn't it? I should even change this. If it's undefined, return, I believe. So if attached to index, attached to index, length -1, and I continue. Essentially something like this. Okay, orbit center. I've just returned 0, 0. Six. Proximity wireline. Yes, it ignores itself now. Can change it. And this is also interesting. They can rotate. Time will tell what happens here, but then the question of order of operations, I believe. So I could reduce the distance I allow this to happen. Let's go to 30. Turret, proximity, wireline, explosion, and lightning. Here off orbit. I can orbit here, I can orbit here, I can orbit here, and I can orbit here. Essentially this, and I can now seek here. Currently, it will fail. This is everything expected. So now I also have to check the next stage. I have this one. This has a second stage. Now I'm on the second stage. Wait. Let's do 2 turrets, because now I'm on stage 2. This has a second stage. But the second stage is close. Doesn't matter. Does it? It cannot connect to anything. Cool, this part doesn't work. I have to think for a second. It should not, 0, 0 is the fallback value. And when I say orbit, let's delete because I'm confused. Stage 2, can I orbit here? Because no, there's nothing to orbit yet. Okay. delete. I think the proximity check is has more space, because I essentially can put the here. Now I could orbit. Okay, this is interesting. It reacts to things. Okay, I need more cases. Proximity, make it big. Stage 2. And now I can not stick to these. This is what I wanted to prevent. They somehow I react to one of these. This is essentially correct. Like a third one. It was this one which reacted. No? Ah, okay. It reacts to, but the orbit is painted incorrectly. I think he realized this is that it gets the center from this thing. How is my time? Still 20 minutes until target time. Which means stage 0 seems to be fine. Stage 1 checked correct objects, but the values were not set correctly. I only set the orbit center. I never set this, so the start position is the problem. One key down. The start position is where I clicked, isn't it? But I can change it. I have the attached to target type. And I center it around it. And this seems to be incorrect. So I get the wrong input value. I think I'm the first one who uses this, so it could be incorrect that this is buggy what I put in here. And let's find it. Is it in here or is it in here? It's the queued object what I put in here. The object exists already. If I'm on stage 1, it stops at stage 0. This would explain it. And I do it for the queued object. So I believe in this case I have to remove it because I only use the queued object here. Okay, I believe this can work. Allow 6. Again, Proximity has more range. 1, 2, 3. Now orbit. Something is off. I changed the center, but this should not happen. I want... So I click on this to it. It should... Wait. I'm even more confused currently. I didn't change the stage, so these are all on stage 0. Clear again. Proximity. Let's keep it corner. I click here. This is correct, this is correct, this is correct. Check this turret and it should rotate around this. Reset again. I make proximity bigger and I put the turrets inside. I'm still on the same stage, so yes, chosen the proximity. I cannot click the... Okay, now I understand what is happening. It's the same as when I prick here. Yeah, okay. It's interesting. Because I'm inside the proximity. Now I accept it this way. Now I go to what I wanted to check. Proximity, now I change the stage. Now these turrets are inside. And if I now click, these are correct. Can choose to rotate around this one, but I also want to be able to rotate here. But if I default, it goes to 0, 0. This is not where it should go. So this case is missing. So the fallback value for here should... This option I cannot take. Okay, but I see tool orbit. I have the orbit center, relative position. Not quite. Don't have the function. It takes the relative position because relative position was close enough that I can take it. Okay. Let's have the orbit center. So I have to change the orbit center in here, I believe. But to what? I believe I need these functions in the long term on all. I think a bit more. The problem is what? That I still have before stage position, orbit center is the 0, 0 position. This is not correct. When I check for the stage, I get attached to object before stage position. I set this value, but I never said. Okay, I think this is also orbit center in this case. But if this is the case, are these just duplicates? I believe they are just duplicates. Okay, let's change it up. I see no reason to have both. So the orbit center start as 0, 0, which is the relative player position. If I am in a stage, I need to get the offset basically, and I want to center it around it. I calculate the distance, and then if I find something closer. Okay. Now does my proximity has this function? This will be, let's put it on check if, am I in orbiter? Let's put it here, check if function required data to work. I hope I will remember what I mean by this. So I restart. Load sheets. I go here. Okay. Now my proximity. I go on the next stage. Reset tool. I felt like I clicked it. No, I didn't. Okay. I have turrets in the stage, and now when I check for orbit targets, I can orbit around these. Fair, fair, fair. This is what I want. Okay. Now they need to actually work. I have to think a bit. I think I need to give them an orbit index. -1 could be the before case, and the other one could be the actual index I attach it to. Oh, this is so complicated. But the proximity spawns these, and they should rotate around the proximity position. The proximity will be gone. I will need its position, so the code can be how should this work? I spawn I won't rotate around this point. What is my idea generally? Essentially, while I can, let's say seek. As it'll fly, it will spawn, and then they should rotate. If this triggers the proximity, it will no longer exist and spawns the turrets. The turrets will have oh god. Maybe the spawn position information. Position plus reference ID. This could help. I think a bit more. 7 more minutes. Target time. I should. I think it currently. This is currently what happens. They attach to me. I wanted to check the orbiting speed. I didn't need to. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think they are all same speed. Maybe I increase it a bit, but there's no damage in the turrets. Okay. It is in working, so I want to make a commit. Work in progress, Spellmaker orbit tool orbiter can attach to other tools in Spellmake mode. Missing spellcast. So orbit offset I take out, can drag to change center. Yes, make orbit speed constant. It is orbit. I have this visualize orbit and orbit center. I did when if function. This I keep when clicking. I now need continue spellcast orbiter needs to know what to rotate around. Ideas is orbiter object needs to remember what it is to remember index. I could do this today even. Remember index. This one before stage lower object 0 to x object index, and it needs to be attached to something. Then I have the object casted object, created object, or cast object, or that object tool object. Cast object has position and ref ID. Search for with on creation needs to know creators object ID and position. On tick tries to find ID, if not exist, rotate around position. Something like this. I don't think I start today. I don't think I can if I think these thoughts might be good enough to continue next time. And it should be doable. What can I do? I still have reached my target time. I have to run my tests. I guess I prepare and come to an end for today. So one test replace, I only changed Spellmaker, which is not in my test yet, so all the tests should still work. So far, everything as expected. Wait, everything works, which means I can push it. It gets deployed, and with this, I am done for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. The end.